Did you know that a massive market boom is coming for the most obvious reason in the world? Felix here, and today we're diving into Tom Lee's latest markets insight, which could reshape how you invest for this year and the coming years. Buying stocks isn't just about numbers and charts. It's about understanding the people behind those numbers. And that's exactly what Tom Lee's been up to. He's uncovered a fascinating link between generational trends and market cycles. But that's not all. We're also going to explore how AI is set to revolutionize not just tech, but every sector of this economy. So if you thought the AI boom was just hype, wait till you hear what Tom has to say about the impacts on, say, utilities and energies. And if you're thinking, sounds great, but how do I actually make money from it? Well, you're in luck. We're breaking down some real practical trading strategies based on these insights. And speaking of strategies, our teaching portfolio is up 93% so far this year. You want to learn how we do that, how we literally turned a $30K portfolio into a $58,000 portfolio so far this year, then join our beginner trading training this coming week. It's free of charge at felixprehn.org/training. And I do it. Why? Because we want to make 1 million people financially free. So we need to reach a lot of people, and it's going to be tremendous fun. So come and join me over there. But let's dive into one of Tom Lee's most fascinating insight: the correlation between generational cohorts and market turning points. And no, this isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding how the very fabric of our society influences the markets. Lee has uncovered a remarkable pattern. Let me share his exact words. The 1930s silent generation peaked in 74. The boomers peaked in 99. Gen X peaked in 2018. These are all major market points. It marked when the stock markets peaked. Isn't that incredible? Each generation has left its mark on the market in a very, very predictable way. So here's where it gets really interesting. The millennials, guilty as charged, according to Tom Lee, the millennial cohort is set to peak in 2038. Apparently, we're all going to die out after that. And you might be wondering, what does peak really mean? Well, Lee does clarify it. He says, this is the amount of people in the cohort, not the age. We're going to have the most millennials living in America in 2038. Apparently, after that, they all start jumping off bridges. So why does it matter for the market? Well, it's about consumption and debt cycles. As Lee says, from age 30 to 49, people's consumption of capital is above their income. That means that as the millennial generation approaches its peak, we could see a massive boost in consumer spending and borrowing, potentially driving economic growth and therefore market performance. But the implications go beyond just the market. Lee has found that this demographic trend also correlates with inflation and stock market returns, he says. We have a chart that shows 10-year rolling inflation follows this cohort. Interestingly, it also correlates to the rolling S&P returns or equity returns. So this suggests that as we approach the millennial peak, my peak, we might see accelerating stock market returns. In fact, Tom says, in the last 3 cycles, the 10-year rolling return was 500%. And according to this thesis, the last major turning point was in 2018 with Gen X. Now, I know we're in 2024, which means we have potentially a long runway of growth ahead of us, 14 years. Now, that doesn't, of course, mean that the market's going to be completely smooth sailing the entire time because Tom said so, but markets will always have their ups and downs. But understanding these long-term demographic trends can help us make more informed investment decisions. So what does it mean for you? Well, it suggests that despite the short-term madness, the long-term outlook for stocks could be amazing as we approach the millennial peak. However, it's also a reminder that market cycles do eventually turn, and it's crucial to adjust your strategy as we get closer to that 2038 millennial peak. So that's a pretty good lesson, right? Now, lesson number 2 is AI. Tom had some pretty insightful things to say about AI and how it's reshaping the economy and therefore the stock market. First, the AI boom, if you put it into perspective, well, remember when personal computers first hit the scenes? And I don't mean these sort of Texas Instruments things, although this is Casio, but, the real computers. It wasn't about fancy new gadgets. It was about changing the way we work, communicate, and do business, right? According to Tom Lee, we're at a similar inflection point here with AI, but the impact will likely be much more profound and far-reaching. So the obvious question for us investors as well, who's going to win in this AI-driven economy? Where can we invest? Well, here's some thoughts on that too. And it's not the obvious tech giants. Yes, companies like NVIDIA, Google, and Microsoft are, at the forefront. But Lee believes the real winners will be spread across various sectors. For instance, Lee points out that utilities could be surprising beneficiaries of the AI revolution. He suggests that power production and energy efficiency could see significant advancements through AI. Imagine smart grids that can predict and manage demand with some serious accuracy. Plus, AI will need more electricity than ever. But it doesn't stop there. Lee sees AI having a broad impact across every sector. Healthcare, AI is already starting to revolutionize drug discovery and personalized medicine, to finance, where AI algorithms could reshape investment strategies. If you checked out our tradevision.io, our little AI indicator there, it's insane. It really is just insane. I struggled for like 10 years or more playing around with indicators. And then let me share this with you. Here is Tesla, for example, right? Tesla, since the beginning of 2022 here, somewhere here, there is down 44%. Our little indicator, which goes green when it says buy indicator and red when it says exit, has delivered 81% returns instead. That's a 120% beat versus buy and hold. So AI is doing some magic here. It is, of course, based on real knowledge and expertise from real investment bankers and market makers and so on, which is what we fed into it. But the outcome is tremendous. And it means you no longer need to learn all that much. You can just kind of follow along and implement. You still need good risk management. That's a given. But there you have it. Check out the chart. So how is AI going to create this boom? It's not going to be software. It's not going to be hardware. It's about augmenting your capabilities and making everything more efficient. If you look at charts of the most successful companies, they bring in more money per employee over time. And that's ultimately what it's about. And yes, there'll be less employees. If you do something fairly boring at your work, let's be honest, most jobs are pretty boring. It's very likely that AI can do a lot of it and that you may not be needed. That's also a bit of a sobering wake-up call, isn't it? And people are sort of like, no, in denial about it, a bit like unions. But it'll come. And it means you got to find something else to do that makes you money and that is meaningful and that gives you some sense of fulfillment. So there is a bit of a task, isn't there? Wasn't expecting this in a Tom Lee video, were you? So what does it all mean for you as an investor? Well, it suggests that the AI revolution isn't just about buying tech stocks. It's about looking for companies across all sectors that are positioning themselves to leverage AI. Because the PC revolution created opportunities beyond IBM and Apple, right? The AI boom is likely to create winners in unexpected places, to keep your eyes open. I would look at companies that have very large overheads and do very, very monotonous things again and again and again. Think the whole admin HR space. And utilities, I think, are a good place to start because A, there'll be more demand. Do you know how they maintain their network, for example? Helicopters and helicopter pilots. Seriously. There's obviously a lot of this work that's going to be done by prediction, by AI, by sensors, by drones, all working together and making sure problems don't actually occur. And that'll significantly reduce the cost of handling these networks. The same will be true for transportation. Ports is an obvious one, which is why those guys are on strike. The whole logistics sector is already being completely upended by AI. And if you add robo-taxis and automated delivery drivers and robots in that thing and maybe a drone that'll fly to your balcony and all that kind of stuff into it or to your backyard, then you can see that there are massive, massive gains. So probably Amazon's a pretty good place to start. But one thing is for sure, the market landscape is going to change drastically. And it'll be the ones who are well-informed, who have an interest, who pay attention, who will benefit from this. And you know what it also means? It also means that the US economy is a little bit more robust than you and I might think. And yeah, at the moment, the data is a little dodgy, but the one thing we haven't had for a long time is significant improvements on productivity. How much do we output per person working? And that is about to massively increase, thanks to AI, thanks to robotics, thanks to autonomous everything. And yes, it'll create some strange problems about we'll have too much time. and it's quite a nice thing, actually, having too much time. You can do lots of glorious things with yourself once you get used to it. And I think for the big companies, the well-managed companies who are embracing this, not the ones who are rejecting this, this is a golden age. So I'm all with Tom here on a rally to 2038. Enjoy the party, get on board. Come and join us next week for our free beginner trading training if you want to learn how we're going to make money out of this for the next 14 years, and you can be part of that. And if you enjoyed our little update here, share it with a friend. I appreciate you. What if I told you that the AI revolution we're witnessing in the stock market is just at its beginning? Imagine being at a party that starts at 9 p.m. and goes until 4 a.m. Well, according to Dan Ives, we're only at 9 p.m. in this AI party. Felix here, and today we're diving into why NVIDIA